ebooks, and movies, and this will be contained in your library.dat. And there's just an example of how these items will look in hex, and the information that you can find on them. Okay. Then we also looked at the various registry keys, where in software you can see quite significant interaction between Frostwire and the machine. Under your current versions, you will be finding all the information regarding the software, your display name, who the publisher was, where you can go to find help, etc. The same under classes, and then there's a Frostwire folder as well. What is important here, Microsoft has got a trade ebooks, and movies, and this will be contained in your library.dat. And there's just an example of how these items will look in hex, and the information that you can find on them. Okay. Then we also looked at the various registry keys, where in software you can see quite significant interaction between Frostwire and the machine. Under your current versions, you will be finding all the information regarding the software, your display name, who the publisher was, where you can go to find help, etc. The same under classes, and then there's a Frostwire folder as well. What is important here, Microsoft has got a tracing protocols that it runs through SARP32 and RASMANX that it runs with every how a software integrates and interacts with the system in place, which I will get to a bit later as well. In the system, however, what's interesting here is that the actual firewall policy is changed to allow tunneling no matter what the settings are of the system. So it will always allow any cross communication with the Frostwire network, which to me, number one, is very, very worrisome, as it means that no matter what you implement in your company, Frostwire bypasses it through. The security hub, we found no interaction whatsoever that we could monitor. With the interuser.dat hive, the magnet handler for all the torrent trackers downloaded can be found here. So you can identify who the actual user was that downloaded a said item at any given time. This is how a torrent tracker or magnet link looks at the moment. The D8 announce 43 I have found is to be the same header at every torrent tracker. So I have identified how the hex looks and created a custom carver in our software to pull out all of that immediately. Here you can see the http //tracker.torrentbox.com is where essentially the communication starts. So it used port 43 to access the website. And then you can see as well how it follows through and jumps through different websites to eventually get the software. I have traced the IP address given there back to an internet service provider, which I personally suspect is where you are downloading the file from. The date is given of when your download is started. It is done in Unix, and then you can convert it online, or if you have a converter, then you can convert it with it. You will also see that it has done 5 jumps to different IP addresses. And you can also see there is a SHA-1 for the file, as well as it's got the name. So this is created for every file you download. And then how to determine when a user has searched for something. There is 2 things created when you search a search term. One, there's an entry made in the search database of Frostwire, which then you don't have to. It's created in the search database as well as an entry. So you'll have two things created for a search entry. In the database, you'll find what was searched for. Then it gives you a file that says what was found. No matter whether the software is closed or reset, this stays the same. I've tested it, and you'll always find what was searched for by which user. And that is that. Any questions?
I had a question about the database. Is that like a SQLite database, or is it parsable by a common tool?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you just speak up a little bit? I think my sound is a little bit soft.
I said, is the Frostwire database, is it readable by typical tools? Is it like an SQLite database? Or how do you
Yes,
read
it's an SQL data. It's readable. I read it in FTK, in SIFT, and various other things, and I've exported it and was able to view it as well. So it's a standard SQL database. It's nothing special, and I don't even think most users know that it exists. It took quite a lot of searching to find it, but in the end, it worked. Mike, I used FTK because that is at the moment what we use predominantly at work. So that is what I used to create a custom carver, but I'm sure any tool, as long as you've got the hex and how the header looks, will work. I haven't tested it, but it is a sound thing to test.